I'm gonna get right to the point on this one. These are 5 things I don't like about my Honda Civic Si, my 2020 specifically. This is the mid-model refresh for the Civic Si. Overall, I do really like the car, but I'm coming from a 9th gen Civic Si, and there's some directions that Honda took that I don't entirely agree with, so I'm gonna talk about them. So number 1 is adaptive sound control. I'll play some clips right here so you can hear what it sounds like. So supposedly what it is 2 microphones, and they're connected to the wiring harness that goes to the speakers. And when you put it in sport mode, it plays extra engine noises and it plays them through the speakers. And we don't like that because that's not natural and it's not Honda-like. The Civic community has always modded the crap out of their cars. And one of the first things that people do to their cars is sound and power modifications. So like cold air intakes, exhaust systems, which will naturally enhance the sound of your car. So we don't need fake engine sound. Once you start doing mods with that added engine sound in there, it's gonna sound stupid. So what I did was I figured out how to disconnect it. You can watch that video here if you want, or I'll show you right down in here. You're gonna take the glove box down, you're gonna take this panel off, take out 4 screws right here and another one down there. And then there's gonna be a little clip connected to a little silver box, maybe this wide and that thick. And that is your adaptive sound control. So if you disconnect that, the car will no longer make extra sounds when it's in sport mode, which is the way it should be. So Honda stopped doing that. I know that Honda is adding that for the 2020 Type R, which I would like to get, and that would also be one of the first things that I would take care of. So stop doing that. We don't like that. So the second thing I don't like is the engine choice for this car. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you are aware that the previous Honda Civic Si's have had the K-Series engine since 2006. Actually, no. I think since the 7th generation Civic, the one that looked really weird and was only available in the hatchback. But nonetheless, for about 15, 16 years, it had the K-Series engines, has the K20 and then the K24. I had the 9th gen Civic Si, I had a K24. Which is nothing like the current engine right now. This is called the L15B7 Earth Dreams engine. It's a 1.5 liter. It puts out 205 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque at the crank. It is a lot of torque compared to previous models, but still, this thing supposedly is pushing 20.3 max PSI from the factory, which no one has actually seen that on their boost gauge. I think the most I've seen in my car, and we're basically at sea level, is 17 pounds of boost. And what I don't like about this engine choice is that Honda easily could have given us the K20 with maybe detuned compression and a little turbocharger and given us like maybe 220 horsepower. And they even could have gone a little higher with the Type R. They could have given it like 320, 330 maybe. I feel like Honda really gypped us with this car because they know that it's pretty much at its max. It's near its max as far as capabilities without having to do a bunch of work to the engine and buying a new turbo. So I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed that they went this route because it kind of forces you, if you want that K20 with all that higher potential, to spend an extra $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 on the Type R. So, and as far as day-to-day driving, one thing I do notice about this car is that when you're not in boost, the amount of torque that it has is so small because it's just a 1.5 liter engine. It's not making enough power without boost to get this car going the way it should be. So when you're crawling in traffic, and that means if you're just in first gear and you completely are off the gas, you're gonna be at 3 miles per hour. And then when you hit the slightest incline, the car just doesn't have enough natural torque for it to accelerate along without you having to give it gas. Hope you guys know what I'm talking about. It just bogs down, and my 9th gen did a much better job because it was a 2.4 liter engine, naturally aspirated. It didn't need boost to make the power. So I don't know, it's just different. It's a different daily driving experience. That's all I have to say about that. The next thing I don't like about this car is, this is the coupe specifically, is the visibility. So the forward visibility is fine. When you look to the sides, it has these big, thick mirrors, and it's really hard to see what's going on when you're turning. I mean, this is about as first person as I can get right here. So I hope you guys can understand what I'm talking about. And the second part of that is the rear visibility. So when you're trying to back up, I mean, thank God this car has a backup camera, because if you're trying to just go off of what you're seeing behind you, the spoiler does get in the way, which is fine because I love spoilers. This one just, the butt is already pretty big. So I mean, if you look at the car, it kind of slopes upward as you get to the back. Like right here, it starts to slope upward, and then this is where your visibility stops. Anyway, when you're trying to look behind you, you can't really see that well, which it has a camera, so it's fine, but what if the camera stops one day and there's something that's too low for you to see, and the visibility just without the camera is poor. I guess I gotta get rid of the car.
Challenger next?
Yep, I'm gonna get a Challenger Scat Pack. The fourth thing I like about this car is the Rev Hang. It makes it really hard to drive this car smoothly, because if you wait for the RPMs to fall, you're waiting forever, and cars behind you are like, why isn't this car accelerating? It's weird if you just let the Rev Hang do its thing before putting it into your gear that you're shifting into. But if you try to shift quickly, then the car is still gonna jerk. Like, there's no way around it to shift this car smoothly. In my 9th gen, it was a lot easier to shift the car smoothly. This one, from first to second, I mean, you're always gonna feel a jolt. I just don't get it. What is the purpose of Rev Hang? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get why we need Rev Hang. That's really all I have to say about that. Just stop doing that, Honda. Stop doing that. Even Motor Trend did a review, I think, of the 2019 or the 2017 SI, and they said they almost loved it except for the Rev Hang. They said something along those lines. I'll put the article in the description. But that's coming from Motor Trend, and they drive, I'm sure they drive every single car ever. So please, Honda, in your next iteration of the Honda Civic in the 11th generation, just tone down the Rev Hang. We don't like it. There's not a single person who drives a stock Civic Si and enjoys the amount of Rev Hang. Just stop it. Just stop. The last thing I want to talk about is a really serious one, and that's why I left it for last, and it's actually concerning, and that's Honda Sensing. This is new for the SI. This is standard for 2020. So I have had poor experiences with Honda Sensing. I'm not a fan of it, and I know I've mentioned that in my videos before, but there's basically just two components with the package that the SI has. It has lane keep assist and collision mitigation braking system, and both of them sound like great ideas. Oh, it also has lane departure warning or assist or something like that. I'll demonstrate these. The one that I'm not going to demonstrate is collision mitigation braking system. That is heavily flawed, and I actually try to remember to turn that off every time I start the car. The first thing I'll talk about, which works pretty well, but I have had some scares, is lane keep assist. I'm going to let out the steering wheel, and I want you to show how well it's going to do. Yeah, we're going straight. I'm going to kind of give it a nudge to the left and see what it does. So it's keeping us pretty steady. And any second now. Okay. Every 10 seconds, it's going to tell us steering required, and it's going to give you a beep if you don't touch it within like 3 seconds. So I have my hand on the wheel. Even when your hand is on the wheel, it is still assisting you. And the crappy part about this is, I mean, if you're cruising along and you're going straight and there's not a lot of lane breakage and merging, it works perfectly fine. But as soon as you have a break in the lane, it'll try to nudge you like to the right or the left for some odd reason. It won't try to keep you straight, which doesn't make sense. So if you're going through like an intersection, here, I'll show you right now. Face forward. So it's on. My hands are off the steering wheel. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it gave us a nudge toward that lane. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. And that's not as bad as it, that's probably the best that it's been since I've had this car. So lane keep assist is not that intelligent yet. If you're looking for this car and you're curious about the Honda Sensing features, be very careful with them. Or if you have another Civic, like a Touring or an EXT or whatever else has the Honda Sensing packages in 2020, just be really careful because I've had some scares with it. The second part of Honda Sensing that works pretty well is the lane departure warning. It'll kind of vibrate the wheel and it'll nudge you back into the lane. And I'm going to demonstrate that right here. So I'm going to turn lane keep assist off, actually. And I'm going to drive into the, see? It'll give you a little thing and it kind of moves the steering wheel. Like watch my hand right here. You see that? You see how the steering wheel like that a little bit? I'll try it again. You see that? Yeah. Just the slightest bit. Anyway, so that works pretty well. So the last part of Honda Sensing I want to talk about, and this is the most serious part, is collision mitigation brake system. This does not work for shit. I have had 2 really serious scares with collision mitigation braking system. So one time I was driving to work, and this is right after I got the car, and the brakes hadn't been properly worn in, neither had the engine. It was brand new. I was driving the car and it was going like maybe 45, 50 miles an hour, and there was another car in front of me and they took a left turn. So they had turned, I applied my brakes, you know, because we were slowing down, and then once they were completely out of the lane, I started accelerating again. They were completely out of the way. So I had started accelerating, and then out of absolutely nowhere, the car just slammed on the brakes. And I obviously didn't do it. My foot was not on the brake pedal. My foot was on the gas pedal. And it started blinking at me, brake now, or something like that. It didn't just like softly apply the brakes. It fucking slammed on the brakes. And I didn't know what the hell happened at first. And there were cars behind me too. So I don't know. I don't know. It was really concerning. Another time, this happened when I was accelerating onto the freeway, and I was probably up at like 60, 65 miles per hour at this point, and a bag, like a plastic bag, blew through the wind in front of the car, and it slammed on the brakes too. It was for like a split second. The first time it like slammed and it held the brakes. The second time, it knew it fucked up because it slammed on the brakes just for like a split second, and then it let off as I was accelerating. So that can't be fucking good for the car, first of all, and second, that can't be good for the flow of traffic. It's just, that can't be good for the driver. That gave me some anxiety. And I know I'm not the only person that this has happened to, because I've had some comments on a couple of my YouTube videos where people have expressed their concern as well for the Honda Sensing features, specifically collision mitigation braking system. So I don't know, I was this close to calling corporate Honda and seeing if I could get this unplugged or disconnected somehow through a tune with at a dealership, because I do not like collision mitigation braking system at all. And one of the shitty things, another shitty thing on top of all that, is you can turn it off all you want while you're driving the car, but as soon as you shut the car off, everything resets. So you go turn the car back on, and it automatically turns collision mitigation braking system on, which I think is bullshit. So, I don't know. I really don't like it, and sometimes I don't always remember to turn it off when I start the car to start driving. It just sucks. I don't like it at all. If you're watching this and you have a 17, 18, or 19 SI, keep it. There's absolutely no reason to upgrade to the 2020. If you're thinking about upgrading just for the purpose of getting the new panels right here, you can buy those. I will try to find the link and post it in the description, but you can get those, don't worry about it. The one good thing I like about the 2020 is the wheels. I think the wheels are perfect. I love black wheels on any color car. So I love those, and I have no desire to change those. I think those are perfect. Anyway, this video is about the things I don't like about the car. Is there anything that you, my princess, don't like about the car?
No, I
Besides
like
that it's a Civic and you don't like it.
I like muscle cars. I don't feel like the Hondas. Whatever. Can we go eat now?
Vivian has a V6 Challenger.
Her name's Lola.
Vivian has a Challenger named Lola, and it's a great car.
It is a great car.
It was actually named, who named, I think Edmunds? There was an article that came out, maybe Consumer Reports, I don't know, I'll try to find it, but the Dodge Challenger was one of the 10 most reliable cars of the past decade. So maybe I'll get one of those. RT? Scat Pack? No Scat Pack?
RT.
We'll see. Let me know if you've had any problems with yours. Those are the instances I've had with Honda Sensing in mine. Also, let me know what you don't like about your Civic. Maybe there's something that you don't like about yours that I kind of overlooked on mine. This is a lot of technology for me too, because I'm coming from a 9th gen Civic Si. Before that, I had a 2006 Scion TC. Before that, a 2001 Pontiac Bonneville. So this is by far the most technology I've had in a car. It's just, I want an older car again. I want something without all this crap in it, all these distractions. I just want to drive, I want to shift myself, and I want to hear the natural noise of the car. There's just so much that Honda's trying to do to the SI, and I don't think they understand completely what type of people buy the SI. It's like 18 to 30 something year olds who just want to have like a fun, affordable little car that they can tune up a little bit, get some extra power out of, and just have a little fun with. I just wish they wouldn't have added all this stuff for the 2020. But it's still a great car, and we're gonna go get some cheeseburgers now. So everybody thank Vivian again for recording.
Stop.
That's all I got. Say bye, babe.
Oh my god. What is that? What is that over there? Is that In-N-Out? Ooh.
Do you want In-N-Out?
I mean,
I'll buy your burger. Want some? Do you want some?
I mean,
You get a prize for recording today. So what would you like for your
a
prize?
cheeseburger.
You want a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
From an In-N-Out?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to make it because I'm a super good chef?
I want In-N-Out.
Okay, fine.
Babe, come on. I've been wanting In-N-Out.
Okay, I'll get you one. I'll get you a burger.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
I already said yes.
Please.
I said yes.